Hey everyone. Happy Monday. How's it going? All right. Yeah, I'm a little bit late, just about 8 minutes here. But, sometimes things happen. All right, so let's get going tonight. Here is where we ended up last week. I've got all three of the panels complete to the same stage. As another quick recap, push this up just a little bit. This is where we're heading. Okay. Now, tonight, what do we got to get done? Okay, so I need to get the 3 crowns up here on the top of each of these. Okay. We've also only got 1 swoosh. Okay, and I've got 2 more to complete. Then we've got all of the top dots, including here. We've got this row, any of these. All right, then that is actually going to finish out this particular pattern. Okay, well, one of the things though that I've been thinking about but haven't fully decided on yet is, so once I get the crown on here, that is going to push us up, and I'm not even sure if you'll be able to see this. I actually do have a line drawn. Yeah, I think you should be able to see it. So those 3 dots, the little crown, will take me right into this line. Okay, so it's barely going to move over the edge of the crease. All right, well, that gives me all this extra room to work with. I have this entire row here on each of these, and then I have the empty space. Now I may not necessarily do anything with the empty space here. I was thinking maybe of putting a small mandala or some swooshes, something maybe here. But what I'm really concerned with is, how do I want to fill this area in right along the edge? And I haven't fully decided yet. So I'm just going to work on getting the middle section done. And then after I get all of my top dots on, and I'm kind of in a good place there, then I'll look at it and kind of see. We'll figure it out then, right? Okay, so I have not actually loaded anything up on my palette yet. So let's get that done. Burgundy, caramel. I've got the nutmeg brown and the black. Okay, so I'm already there. So let me shake these up, get them in my palette. And then for the top, I've got the metallic champagne gold. Now, as I was discussing last week, one of the things that I might actually do is, because keep in mind, the caramel was not part of my original design. The caramel came after, because I knew that the buff color that I was using was going to fade out, that it was not going to be visible on the canvas. So I did darken that up. All right, which is fine. But that leaves me the option now that what I could do is, in some of the places, maybe like here, for example, on these larger dots, I have the black, but I also have these smaller swooshes, and I could use that original buff color, that nice light beige, to go ahead and put top dots on, instead of, again, just having the metallic gold all the way around. So, all right. I gave these a good shake before, but it's not going to hurt it if I do a little more. Okay. Oops. All right. So hopefully this will go pretty quick tonight. I don't intend on it taking a ton of time. The longest thing is really just going to be getting the swooshes in here. Oh, and I'm already made myself dirty. But once the swooshes are in, then I might need maybe some advice. I'll have, you know, hopefully by that point I'll have a couple of eyes on this and you guys can help me pick what we want to do on the outsides. Okay, so let's get into it, right? Okay. First things first, I think I'll go ahead and do the swooshes. And these are a 4.5. All of these here are a 4.5. The dot itself is all going to be the same regardless. Okay. And all I'm going to do though is move the tool down itself, the dot itself, into the crook right here where this dot, where the point is going to start for that swoosh. And I'm just going to drop it down in here and pull it through, and the same with all of the rest. Okay, my handy dandy tool, my go-to. Okay, and then let's get into this burgundy. Okay, I want to make sure that I'm getting enough on there. The only thing different that I'm doing with these swooshes that I didn't with the other is going to be I'm starting, instead of starting my swoosh in the middle and pulling the initial dot down from here, I'm doing it from this side just to make sure that I can follow the line of the swoosh underneath it. Then I'm going across and bringing this line down to meet it, and then filling that in. So same process, just starting off on a different side. Okay. And again, because I have pre-treated this, I did use the spray varnish on this before I started. It makes a huge difference as to how smoothly the swooshes go, as well as the paint, what do you want to say, kind of doesn't absorb as fast since it's sitting on top of that varnish. It's kind of a more smooth and less porous surface, so they go on easier. All right. But again, I've not added any medium to the paint. This is just straight out of the bottle. So honestly, tonight's going to be a lot of repetitive work. The swooshes take a bit of time. This isn't a lot of switching things up. It's going to be a lot of using the same tool. This is a great night for questions if anybody has any. These are pretty short swooshes, so they're going relatively quickly. Got a nice consistency in my paint tonight, so. All right. This one's a little bit more of an awkward angle. Make sure that my finger's not laying in anything. I don't like doing it from that angle very much at all. Okay. But really, once you get swooshes down, I used to hate even the idea of doing swooshes, and I would really stick to almost nothing but just dots. And I'm so glad that I got out of it. I'm so glad that I pushed myself to just suck it up and try it, because now they're one of my favorite things to do. Okay, 2 sides down. Let's get this third one in. Now once I've got these in, again, I'm going to stay with the 4.5, but then we're going to be in black to do the last swoosh on this side. Like I said, every time I move this around and turn it, I do try to take a quick peek and make sure that I'm not out of anybody's view, but sometimes it might still happen. Might scooch a little too far one way or the other. If I do, just yell. Okay. All right, I'm gonna get my tool wiped off here. Then we'll go into the black. I guess I can start on this side since I'm already over here. Oops, I'm gonna put my tool away actually. All right. Now this one's going to be a little shorter. And hopefully just a smidge fatter than the other ones. To kind of fill in that gap there. if it was over just a tiny bit, these would all look like cute little exclamation points, because they would be touching the black dots underneath. And think about that. It's kind of funny. Yep. Okay, move to the middle. I like doing these little short fat ones too. They look nice, they're quick and easy. And again, these dry so quickly. Okay. All right, that's two. Felt like that one wanted to be a little skinny. All right, this one should be the last one here. Okay. Okay, let me get my tools wiped off here. It's a lot of paint that builds up on there pretty quickly too. There. All right, so now we got to do some tips here. Originally, let's see, it was a bit different originally. So what I think I'm going to do, I can probably use a 1. Now these were maroon. With a 4 top. Okay. All right, so what we want to do, let's see how this is going to look. I did the top here of this dot a little differently here on the canvas than when I originally practiced it. So this part came out just slightly different. So let me see. I think I can probably do a 1.5. I'd prefer it a little larger. So I'm going to try that. Okay. Yeah, that'll fit. And this one be a little tougher. I'm going to try to get them all even here. I'm going to set them right along the top edge of the light brown of the caramel and next to each other. Some of these obviously have a little more space than others. But essentially this is just going to be our little landing here for the crown. Or the base of, I should say. All right. Just 1 dot on the end. Okay. Too simple. Real quick. This last one. My finger slipped right there. That's okay. That's what we have Q-tips for. Okay, now this was a 4 originally. I wonder if I can go up to a 4-5. Yeah, I think I can do that because I definitely have the room. That ended up perfect as well, because now the edge of the dot is actually touching the bottom of that guideline. And that works great. That works out just great. Okay. This is so close to being finished. Just the basic. And I think this is drying plenty fast enough for me to do the top dots. I mean, we know that the middle has been dry a week, so more, actually 2. All right, okay, so that's done. Okay, I'm just gonna get my tool cleaned off here. Let's get it actually clean. All right. So that's the metallic. Let me find, what did I do? Not the toasted marshmallow color, but I'm looking for that buff. There's the one I was using. Okay. So here's the original, and that's what I updated it to. So I think I might do these 2 for the top. Let me get that shaken up a little. Now, because they're just top dots, I might actually not even go into pour these into the palette. Okay, but let me think a second. What do I want to do on the edges? I really wanted this to have a more open feel at the tips here. I really did not want to close it in, so I don't want to make a ring, for example, around it. You know what I could do though? At least to start, I could put another dot here to kind of extend it just a little bit. I think that'll work, which I think that's going to have to be black. And I'm going to go to a 2.5 because this was a 4.5. So dropping down 2 sizes. Okay. And did you have grid lines here? I can see them myself. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I just like the fact that it's not completely rounded. You know, that it keeps that 8 points. The way that I changed up the walked dot made a larger difference in the height than I anticipated. So yeah, I think this corrects it just fine. I wouldn't say correct. There's nothing right or wrong about it, but cleaning my tool off and again, just stopping to think here. I am not the most creative person in the world, unfortunately. So okay. I think I can probably go for 4. Looking at my top dots there, the first one is going to be on these black. So I'm going to shake and open up my gold. So we're going to get those done, and I'm just going to work outward. And hopefully, as long as I don't stick my hand in anything, and I keep saying it, and one of these days I'm going to jinx myself, and I'm going to have it all over me. Okay. All right, so again, that's just right out of the cap. It's going to be a 4. And I'm going to keep the dots down towards the bottom. So they all point inward. There, so it leaves that nice kind of crescent shape on the top. Let's see. I'm a little slow and awkward because I don't want to mess up that last dot that I did up here. If I were working on my own, if I wasn't recording or anything, then I probably wouldn't even top dot today. I probably would have done this 1 or 2 days later, just so that I had absolutely no worry about anything being wet. Okay. All right. So there's that one. Let's get these guys down here. And then instead of doing the black like in my original on the row above, in the dot that's the middle of the walks, I think I'm going to use my light buff, that cream color instead. I know it's not going to be tremendously different than the champagne gold, but I kind of want to incorporate that. Okay. Just put the lid back on real quick. One of the things that I never wrote down on the original was the side of the dot that I'd used on that one. And I think it was like a 2.5 or a 3. So I'm going to check here real quick. Yeah, I think that was a 3. Okay, because I do want room. When I'm going to top dot these ones, I actually made another walk dot along the top rim of this one. So I need to leave space. So I'm going to go for a 3. Okay, I'm going to get this shook up. Again, just right out of the bottle. Again, I'm going to do the same thing here and keep all of the dots down towards the bottom. Let's see, where do I want to start here? Okay, so essentially that black and this buff are going to be right almost touching. I suppose they actually could touch there, yeah. Close enough. Originally, when I started dotting, someone had said, and I don't remember where I found that out, who that was originally from, that said use the top dots on the bottom like this when you're new because they're a lot easier because you're not having to try to find center. Right? You're not struggling to try to aim your top dot. And if you mess it up in the center, it looks a lot worse than if it's down here at the bottom, right? It's much, much easier. And I used it because of that, but then I realized I liked it a lot. I liked the way that it looked. Especially when you put it down at the bottom versus on the top, for example. It again pulls the mandala into the center. You know, it pulls your eye into the center where, you know, it's kind of where it belongs anyways, right? So, all right, let me get this flipped around. The only decision I have to make at this point with this particular dot, oops, my hand slipped a little, is I did do the extra set of walked dots in the champagne gold, and do I want to continue with the champagne gold, or do I want to switch it up and do maybe black? I think I want to stay with the champagne gold actually though. Okay. All right. So there's that. Gee, she knocked my bottle of paint over. Thank goodness. Okay. All right, let's wipe that off. Next row out, we're going to go back in to the champagne gold, and I'm going to do these swooshes here. It is, yeah, it's a 5-5, so I usually go down a size, which is a 4-5. And again, straight out of the cap. You know what? Actually, looking at this, I changed my mind. I'm going to go down to a 4. I'm going to go just a tad smaller. Yeah, good idea. I'm always amazed at how pretty things look. And then you add top dots or you add other embellishments to it. And again, it changes it again. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the way this is. You know, and especially in the beginning, they look great. And then you start doing this stuff with metallics or pearl paints or just other colors that you incorporate on the top. And it's amazing how flat things look after you've started to do that. One thing you'll notice with me, different from other artists, is that for whatever godforsaken reason, I do love my swooshies, but I don't like top swooshing. I don't like doing swooshes over swooshes. I don't know why. Tried it a couple of times, hated the way it looked. I don't know. I'm not saying that I don't like the look in general, because other people have done it and it looks nice, but nope, just never done one I was happy with, so I just don't do them. Maybe that'll change someday. I don't know. But this is right now what I'm liking. Okay, and last one there. All right. Now, just gonna give that another shake, add a little bit more paint into the lid. Gonna clean that. And 2, yeah, okay. First, I'm gonna do a top dot, just like any other walked dot set. That really blends in, but that's okay. It's really subtle on the original too. Make my way around here. Okay. I'm picking up a 1, and I should just be able to get 2 dots on either side. Start over here. Hopefully it's visible what I'm actually doing. No matter what it looks like on the canvas in front of me, it may not look like anything at all on the screen, so. Now I know I have several options for playing around with the outside edge here and trying to make a decision. However, the ones that I want to use require my paint to be completely dry. I don't really want to mess around too much with putting paint down and wiping it off. Even though I have varnished it, yeah, I mean, it still is canvas, so. Okay. There. Now, we have more gold to go. Let's see here. For sure, I want to do it on the tips and on the black because it's beautiful on that black. But as far as what I want on the tips of the swooshes, I'm thinking for a sec here. I could do the light beige or buff, excuse me, on these ones as well. Because on the previous ones, I also did a line, centered dots on, here, let me get a tool out so I can point. On these ones, I also did that in the gold, but I could do that instead of in the gold and leave this and the 3 swooshes embellished in gold, and then put this same light color here, which I think should be fine. I think that would work out nice too, because these darker colors really do well with that gold. They shine beautifully. Okay. Again, stay with that theme. Getting the top dots towards the bottom. And all of these are size 3. I like how it's turning out. I do think, however, that on the outsides, I'm gonna need something nice and dark. Wish I wasn't so stumped about that. I really... I was really tempted to do just some swooshes, maybe along the edges here, but I don't think that's going to be cohesive enough to the rest of the design. I don't think it's going to fit in well. I don't want to do that. Oops. That one wasn't in the middle. Okay. The other thing that I don't do is I don't put dots or top dots on the middle or center. There's so much scrutiny on that dot right in the center. That unless I do something a little special or a little unique with it, I don't like putting just a standard top dot on it either. It's just a me quirk. Just something that I personally really don't do. At one time, I did go ahead and do something very similar to what I did in the second row, you know, with kind of a top dot and then some walk dots on the center. And yeah, I don't know. Oh, you know what? Wait, back up for a second. I didn't realize until I moved it that that last dot was off center. And even though I'm top dotting all of these, I still feel like there is a possibility that either I am already or could very easily get carried away and lose some of the background and all this top gold. So for example, I do not want to top dot the black, for lack of a better term here, the one that looks like it's at the bottom of the exclamation point. I'm not going to do anything with that one. I want to leave it black. I want to have that at least kind of sharp contrast somewhere in there. There. Beautiful. Wipe my tool off. Now, again, I'm pausing for just a second because do I want that extra dot? In the original, as you can see here, I have a dot, a nice really small one on top of this beige. And instead of doing the gold, I was going to do the buff. Yeah, possibly. I think I still want that. Let's go down a size though, half a size anyways. And I think I'll still kind of pull that towards the middle. I feel like I can't see. There. Okay. I'm still actually just walking them. Yeah, I think this was a better choice to do it with the buff versus the gold. Keeps it from being a little too overwhelming, I think. I'm going to bring this one down a little. There. Okay. Do I want to put something on the top of this? I kind of feel like I have to. Kind of feel like I should. It's so tiny, but kind of sticks out. Kind of sticks out a little. What if I did maroon here? Instead of gold. I mean, it's the tiniest dot in the world. Okay, not in the world, but you know. Is that even visible? Keeps it dark, doesn't it? I don't know how that'll show up once it's completely dry because it's really dark. But I'll know it's there. You will too now. Probably off the screen for a second, sorry. Okay. All right. Did I miss one? I think I missed this one. Okay. I missed gold on this one and that one. I'll be okay. Well, let me fix that real quick. I completely forgot there was a top dot on these ones on this side. Okay. Little things, little things. Okay, let me turn that around. Okay, that's fixed. Okay. I think we're done. Well, of the main design. Like I said, I still haven't figured out what I want to do here. These extra spaces. What do you think? How did we do? So here's this one. That's a little bright. And this is the original. Can't complain. Yeah. I think it came out a little bit better. A little bit better than I anticipated. Like I said, if anybody has any ideas for me, if you watched it this far, if you have any ideas for me, let me know. Because now, like I said, my only predicament is this outer edge here. It's kind of like the outer edge of a clock, right? what I really wanted to do was make sure that even though this is a triptych piece, these are going to be split. Okay, this will not stay together. This will be split. They will be hung separately. With that being said, I wanted to make sure that this one in the center especially extended out a little bit farther, that I actually did get it, you know, relatively speaking, you know, a good distance onto the other canvas, so that it would really tie in as a triptych piece. So it wasn't going to be 3 separate and completely individual canvases. I did want to tie that together, just, you know, and have them kind of separated a bit when they're hung. So I've got to figure out what I want in those spaces. One of the things that I suppose that I could consider is taking something like this and simply adding in some real small dots here in this area, sort of randomly in this area, sort of around maybe this tip, you know, just to kind of keep that V shape, keep the points. The other option, I suppose, would be, and I really don't want to do that, but let me see what people think, is to take and follow this line around and enclose it in a circle. I could potentially also follow my guidelines out and have another set of walked dots or even swooshes here to fill this space. You know, maybe even what I could do, I would probably want to measure it out though. Have a dot, say here, and then do sort of a flower with the swooshes. So maybe have like a 6, you know, 6 swooshes going out. So a main dot here, 1 on either side, 1 diagonally, and then 1 in the center. So I would fill this little rounded section with swooshes. My only concern there is I'm not sure how much that would distract from this pattern. I kind of want something that's a little bit that ties into this, that's not too heavy. Does that sound right? Okay, but I'm leaving this for tonight. Like I said, otherwise the main design is completely finished. I've got it all wrapped up and done. I am putting together some of the recordings of this, probably get kind of a quick recap posted probably before next week. We'll see how I want to lay that out. And for the rest, if you wanted to follow along, that's where you are going to find the instructions. All right. Well, take care, guys. I certainly appreciate anyone who's stopped by. Again, if you're liking what I do, if you like the live sessions, if you do want some tutorials, some tricks, you know, just to come hang out, consider stopping by the channel itself and subscribing, or at least hitting the notify me button on next week or any other future stream that you would like to see, so that you can get notified when it happens. All right, well, take care. Have a fantastic evening and enjoy.